Screeners, how you doing? It's myself, the 1AJ, Anthony Jordan.
And double V over here, the Viceroy of Verisimilitude, me too, Nico Lurot. Shout out to all of my Nicoholics. How we doing?
We're good, guys. So we have warned that it's live from now, and we kind of gave it a bit of a countdown, so you don't see this kind of awkward. Oh, it's on, yeah. So you'll see a countdown. It may be 20 seconds, it may be 10 seconds. Also, I didn't do it, but next time it gives us a chance to share on our socials that we're live. But hey, it is what it is. So that's the one. We are live on Tuesday, the 28th of September in the UK. We are awaiting the premiere of Dum.
Make it sound like Jaws.
Oh, that's the beginning, and it's
What? Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, of course. Beginning.
So exciting.
Indeed it is. So yeah, we must all appreciate the UK's favourite export, the one and only James Bond. So that's out there.
I thought Page was the UK's favourite export.
Well, it's more internationally known, but yeah, we do
True.
A Page on the SSD front. Yes, Ministry fans will know exactly what we're talking about. everyone else is like, Page? What Page? Trust me. Anyway, just trust me.
Really?
Really? You know what? Let's bring it in. Let's bring it in as a film side. Fighting with my family. So it really enjoyed that. So yeah, we keep it there. But yes, Mr. Craig's final Bond. And in celebration of that, we are doing the top 10. No, we're not. Nothing to do with it. We are honoring the we just came about a Silver Screen Dudes topic, which was top 10 serial killers. How did it come about? We were eating cereal. We thought of killers. Came up with cereal. No.
Oh dear. Fuck me. Put the dad joke down, mate. You'll break it. It's an antique, that one.
I know. Tell me about it. But yeah, it just came about because that's what we did. We find topics and guys, why did we come up with it? Because you, the screeners, have look at that. I've even got my pen. All educated today. You, the screeners, haven't submitted any fan selections, so then we will come in our own. So until you do, this is what we'll keep doing.
Well, I mean, I did mention a while ago.
There are some in the pipeline. There are some, yeah, but Andy's a different category. That's like not that people come up with dumb ones, but someone who calls us up on our shit weekly, it requires us to have a bit more depth. It's like, we're trying to be foolproof in that.
As what he's asked is a topic that you and me don't really like. Makes it that much easier.
Yeah, of course. So it is what it is. But yes, we're here. So how are you doing, my good friend?
Got my 7th platinum trophy now.
Yes. I was meant to put congratulations, but when I saw it, I was in the middle of something else. Completely forgot.
Hey, no way. Mixed Memorabilia just actually commented on our Twitter. You are live now, tuned in on YouTube.
Hey. Shout out to Mixed Memorabilia.
That's going to be weird when I'm answering them, when they're listening back to the podcast, and when I'm actually answering them live here. That's all sorts of a meta time trap circle.
Indeed. But hey, no, we appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. Right.
And if there is Mixed Memorabilia watching, please do comment below with what your top 10 favorite serial killer movies are, and we will read them out at the end of the show.
Indeed. Indeed, we will. I think we're going to do it post Rushmore. I'm really trying to do. I was thinking about it today. I'm trying to bring back the core of the Silver Screen Dudes. Yeah, the core where we were going to do this, and we were like, it's our podcast. This is our top 4. Now we're like, oh, I still get it, but I want to know how in tune we are with the rest of the world, kind of thing. So
we get it right sometimes. The more I see things on Twitter, the more I realize that we are still very much students of film and by no means masters.
But I like that. That expands the edutainment, like that's what it's about. We aren't the masters of edutainment. We aren't like, oh, listen to what we say and nothing else is to be there. We want to learn too. We're film fans too. Like, screw it. This is what it's all about.
And as I said, Mixed Memorabilia, who we've been having a discussion with on Twitter for the last few weeks, please do follow them at Mixed Memorabilia. They know their stuff.
I've heard this.
They know their stuff. They really know their stuff. And what they do that I like is they come up with choices that are absolutely valid, but yet you don't think of. You put a question like this up. Okay. let's not do this the week because we're going to ruin what's on our list. But what was it last week? Oh, Real Gangsters, top 10 movie portrayals of real gangsters. Everyone pulled for Goodfellas. Everyone pulled for Henry Hill. Mixed memorabilia is the sort of person who would go, what about Lefty Ruggiero from Donnie Brasco? It's like, yes.
Nice. That's what it's all about.
Yep.
That's what it's all about. Those. Oh, how did I forget those? Who's that? I've never heard of that. And that's what it's all about.
Yeah. But can I tell you, there's one thing I really do adore about our Twitter community. Adore it. And I say this to Anya all the time. The Twitter sphere is a very toxic place for most part. Really toxic.
Mm-hmm.
By pure chance, the small community that we have on Twitter is healthy. And I don't mean healthy in terms of the fact that we've got numbers. That's the numbers are what they are. I mean healthy in terms of the people that we've kind of brought into our little Cinesphere. People like, Mixed Memorabilia and Gavin Mann have never met each other. These are not people who, other than through the movie Mount Rushmore, would be interacting, to my knowledge. And boom. Next, Andy Hart jumps in sometimes. Then you got a Chris Trengrove. Then you've got a Dean 8-bit. All of these people. Ballpark Frank, who comes in now and then. Morgan Page. All of these people who wouldn't know each other and who are brought together by this common love of film. And whenever there's a disagreement, which there is often, instead of name calling and instead of getting butthurt about, oh, my choice is better than yours or your choice isn't as good as mine, there's a genuine, healthy discussion going on about, oh, that's cool. Okay, yeah, nice. I'll check that one out. Thanks for the recommendation. It's that sort of vibe. It's lovely.
I like that. Proof that Twitter can be a positive place.
It really can. Like pure luck. But yeah, I love our Twitter community. Love them. And I'm not saying that for clout. I mean that legitimately. I don't feel apprehension going on Twitter and seeing a sort of some of the scenes like you've been seeing at petrol stations recently in the UK where people having a go at each other. No, it's people literally in a completely non-patronizing and, edutainment way, sharing movie recommendations with each other. Wonderful thing.
Love it. Now, that's good about the Twitterverse, and I love that. The Tweeple, as I sometimes call them. Now, we're here on the platform as YouTube, Facebook, and all podcast platforms. Nico, would you like to tell everyone who's listening for the first time, hopefully there are many of you, but hopefully we have many returning guests at the same time. Would you like to tell them what the movie Mount Rushmore is all about?
Yes, sir. It's basically a top 10 show between two best friends from school. You can find the Movie Mount Rushmore podcast anywhere on iOS and Android. We're on all the podcast platforms, if we could bring them up now. You can find the Movie Mount Rushmore podcast on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Castbox, Deezer, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, Podchaser, TuneIn, Stitcher, and Geo7. We're everywhere. Listen to now on every single continent other than Antarctica. Coming soon. Who knows? One person, then we've got them all. But yeah, every continent we're listening to now, which is cool as fuck. And if you don't want to listen to us and you want to watch us, right here on YouTube, Silver Screen Dudes on YouTube every single week. It's usually on a Tuesday or a Wednesday. Varies week by week, but it's around the 9:30 p.m. time. Best way to do that is just hit the subscribe button. Make sure you click the notification bell. That way you get notified whenever we come online live. But enough of that. How does the Movie Mount Rushmore actually work? AJ and I each get assigned a topic. We go our separate ways, and we come right back here into recording and deliver to you, the Silver Screen Dudes, our individual top 10s. This week, AJ will go first, delivering his bottom 3. I will then deliver my bottom 3. AJ will deliver his next 2. I will deliver my next 2, and then we will trade one apiece. If at any time one person has a movie in a higher position when we are running off our lists, that person will say,
Punt.
And we will punt and talk about that movie when we get to the high position. Once we have both rounded off our individual top 10s, we will create the Movie Mount Rushmore. These are the 4 quintessential, diverse, must-see movies of the genre, which this week is...
Top 10 movies about serial killers. Right. Pleasant kind of topic. Right, but we move on. In at number 10 for me, I don't know if you've seen this film, and honestly, it's been forever since I've seen it, but it is one of my favorites. And like when I used to watch it, it's Kathleen Turner in Serial Mum.
The fuck?
You've never heard of it? It's one of those films that you actually shouldn't like. It's a comedy. It's like a horror.
I figured from the poster.
Yeah. So imagine Kathleen Turner as your ultimate Stepford wife. She does 2.4 children, happily married. She's got the perfect children. Everything's to be going fine. Her son is played by Matthew Lillard, who some would know from She's All That. Others will know him as Shaggy from Scooby-Doo, and another film that may be on the list, so I will keep quiet. But he's in there, and her daughter's played by Ricki Lake. Yes, Ricki Lake of TV interview fame. Yeah, Ricki Lake was also an actress, and this was one of the films that she was in. I don't know if Ricki still acts. I think she done Hairspray actually, but I've not seen many Ricki Lake films. Ricki.
Jerry,
no, she wasn't in Hairspray. Or no, you've not seen many films.
No, I haven't seen many.
Of course.
Ricki Lake
Listen, yeah. I'm just saying it was go Ricki. I can't remember what it was, but yeah, Ricki was a chat show host, and so everything's like really perfect as you would, as I said, bit of a Stepford wife, until she goes to a parents teacher meeting, and the teacher has a go about her son and makes him seem like not so perfect. She
we were just talking about this off air.
Yeah, there you go. So she's there and she's had to take it, and her blood's been boiling, but she's cooled down and she's gone to the car park, got her car, and she sees the teacher. She kind of waves to him, and if I remember rightly, he waves back and then kind of gives it a kind of sigh. At which point the blood boils again, and I believe she reverses and just kills the dude. And with that, yeah, she kills the teacher, and from that becomes this fascination with killing. And she's now discovered that she could do it, and she's got this. Yeah, I wouldn't call it a bloodlust directly, but she's now on the path. So anyone who kind of goes against the grain with her now ends up gone. Fuck. If you would. Bro, it's weird. It was one of these films that were really weird, and like the police then start to catch on, and she has to cover her tracks. Then she goes to court, and it's like, can she get away with it? It's all kinds of wrong, but it was a comedy that I remember early 90s. It was quite
all the great serial killer movies, I'm really surprised you brought this in.
Bro, because how often will I be able to bring up Serial Mum? Like, it will never have a chance again.
Movies about mums, movies about weird superpowers, movies about
how does that become a superpower?
Getting away with murder is quite a big superpower.
It's a tactical one. I mean, listen, I'm not trying to say nothing, but then
listen, you're going to tell me that what Hollow Man had wasn't a superpower?
So I'm just going to be incriminating myself here. It's like, is O.J. Simpson a superhero?
Super villain?
Does he have superpowers?
Do supervillains have superpowers?
Some do.
Back again. There you go.
I'm just. You were the one who said it falls under the superpower category.
You were the one who brought in superhero. I didn't say superhero. I said superpower.
Okay, okay. Therefore, does O.J. Simpson have a superpower? He had super money to afford a super lawyer, but I thought for that.
Well, super wealth, Lex Luthor,
which makes Batman everyone's favorite superhero. Touche.
There you go.
Okay, right.
That went down a weird road, anyway.
Yeah. Okay, so that was my number 10. No, it's fun, and she's a serial killer. It's there, right. In at number 9, I have a feeling we may say Punt. I'm talking Natural Born Killers.
Punt.
Okay. Good prediction on my end. And then in at number 8, probably another Punt, or in the same kind of region, I'm talking Johnny Depp, Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street.
No, that's all you. But what's interesting is Johnny is now going to be mentioned on this podcast 3 times.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
He's Johnny, man. He's Johnny Depp. It's really funny because
he's kind of cancelled at the moment, but okay.
Yeah, but yeah. But as you write again, one of these things where admiring the film, not the person. But funny enough, I am going to admire the person a bit. But as you said previously, the more the story unravels, the more it's like, are we going to try and Yeah, are we pressing Control Alt Delete on cancel? Just wondering. And I have a Mac and I'm still using Control Alt Delete. But where I'm going is with this. My brother's other half has actually, believe it or not, huge Johnny Depp fan, and she's never actually seen Pirates of the Caribbean, which I was fully shocked at. And
that's mad.
Yeah, it was just one of those things that she just hadn't actually got around to seeing, and she's always caught it halfway and didn't find it interesting. And I actually said to her, "Look, I'm in the process." Coming in?
Any the first one?
Any.
No,
bro, like literally, I was like, "You can't do it. There's no way." And I'm like, you know what? I'm trying to see some film for my podcast, but I will sacrifice my 2 hours of film time for one thing only: you to watch Pirates of the Caribbean. And she's halfway and was loving it. So yeah, that was all kinds of cool. But one thing that she did highlight was how much of a chameleon Johnny Depp actually is when it comes to acting.
For sure.
Yeah, he is one of those people. And here's one of those times that it's fully proven. And I'm sure in the other times that he comes up, it will also be proven that he just embodies the characters. And one of the things that always hit me with Sweeney Todd is I actually didn't know it was a musical when I first, I kept hearing about this film, had no clue whatsoever. Yeah. And watched it, and it was a musical. And I was actually quite impressed by it in a way that it was like, it wouldn't normally be my jam, but it somehow worked.
People give musicals such an unfair rap, man. They're great.
Do you know what it is? I prefer like a bit of a story, then give me a bit of a sing-along, as opposed to every conversation we're going to have has to be said in song. That's where I kind of get a bit cheesed with a musical.
So you're more Lion King and La La Land than you are Sweeney Todd and Oklahoma.
I am. I'm more Grease than I am, I don't know, another film. Like maybe more Grease than Mamma Mia, if you would. Like,
oh, you behave.
I am.
Mamma Mia is great.
I didn't say. Listen, I've just put Sweeney Todd on the list. I didn't say I hate. I didn't say I hate the film. Just a preference is a preference. You can't take it away. But yeah, no. So we are talking about the man who's come out of prison and is trying to regain his barbershop. Out of all things, it's just a barbershop.
One way of looking at it.
It was, and then it's like just trying to outdo those, get revenge on those who have done him wrong, and
more like it.
Well, of course, I mean, this is both sides, isn't it? And it's just a matter of short back and sides in the throat. It's just
literally, and then feeding the bodies to people.
Yeah, and how do you get rid of the bodies? Like, if you thought Bricktop had it measured down with
put them in pies,
you just put them in pies and sell them on. Really weird story, but yeah, I was quite fascinated by the story when I actually did finally get around to watching this film.
Reminisce to talk about this movie without mentioning the late great Alan Rickman, of course.
Yes, of course. He do you know what? His voice carried really well in that film, in terms of a singer, which I'd never seen as well. I'd never seen that from Alan Rickman, and I was really, really impressed. And you know what? Sacha Baron Cohen for actually having me look like, is that Sacha? Like, yeah, everyone really pulled out a side of him that I'm not familiar with before in this film, and that's why
I saw that that movie you recommended, by the way, with Sacha, Trial of the Chicago 7. Excellent.
Yeah, top.
Felt a bit like a TV movie.
Yeah, but it has that feeling. It has that feeling, but you can't take away what he delivered. Like, mate,
class.
Top stuff. When you first said it, I was like trying to read you there.
No, it was great. Really enjoyed it. Bro, to get me on board in the future, if Aaron Sorkin has written something, just tell me that and I'm in. Right?
Fair play. Yeah. So yeah, that's my bottom 3. Over to you, sir.
Let's bring Johnny Depp back in, shall we? My number 10, starring him and Heather Graham, and again the late great, but in this case it's the late great Ian Holm. From Hell.
Can't say I've seen it.
Huh?
Not seen it. I don't think I've heard of it before.
It's about Jack the Ripper. in the simplest sense, it's a really, really dark gothic tale about the Inspector Aberline trying to catch Jack the Ripper.
Cool.
It's story, if you know the Jack the Ripper story, it doesn't reinvent the wheel. It gives you exactly what you want. It gives you a horrible Victorian Whitechapel. Whitechapel being an area of London, in case that went a bit too deep. And it's about a man who decides to mutilate working girls, prostitutes, and the mutilations progressively get more and more and more and more horrible. And there's always been this there's always been theories about who Jack the Ripper was. I believe they actually found out who he is now, but I need to look into that just because of the wonders.
One of the things that I've heard, I'm not sure how confirmed it is.
I think it's confirmed, but anyway, the classic story is that the doctor who is acting as the aide in the case, to kind of break down how the murders took place, turns out, well, the story, the mythology is that it's him, and this is the direction that the movie takes. But yeah, it's my number 10 because it's not one of Johnny's most, jump out roles, but I can't really think of a better Jack the Ripper movie. I might be drawing a blank, but I can't think of a better one. And this,
do you know what? What's interesting, as you said, I think I don't know how they came about with it, but I think there is a Batman.
There is
trying to hunt down Jack the Ripper. The gas light something or something. But yeah, I'm not saying this, but I haven't even seen it, so I can't talk about it. But that's just another.
It exists. You're spot on.
Yeah. So interesting. Have you seen it?
What, the Batman?
Yeah.
No. I just know of its existence.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Right. Number 9. Number 9's a sticky one because let me bring it up first. It's 1973's Badlands, directed by Terrence Malick and starring Michael Sheen and Sissy Spacek. Now, JT over at We Love Movies said this perfectly. You either love Malick or you don't. There's not really an in-between. Because I finished watching this and I was like, I get the impact it's had on film and I get the influence that it has made, and I get that's about all I get, actually. I can't get another thing. And I fall very much into that. I don't get it with Terrence Malick. Like, the movie's fine. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like The Thin Red Line, when people are like, The Thin Red Line is better than Saving Private Ryan, or The Thin Red Line is the best war movie ever. I'm like, how? Or people are saying Tree of Life, and people talk about Badlands. I've just never fucking got the hype about Terrence Malick. I find him really patronizing as a director, purposefully outhouse without being genuinely outhouse, if that makes sense. And just, you look at a Malick piece, and I feel like you could knock 10, 15 minutes off of all of them. And it's not from character interactions. It's just from these wide, lumbering nature shots he does. And that's coming from a guy who films nature for a living, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, Private Ryan was the worst, but he did it a bit in this too, where it's like, we're going to show every single lizard in the desert. We're going to show every single fucking variation of a sunset we can. And it's like, dude, move it on. I get it. Your obsession with nature is second only to Nolan's obsession with time. Like, I get it. It's deep for you. And I get that in all of your movies, you're trying to show that while this horror or while this story is going on, there's a big wide world going on around. And no matter where we are in life, we need to remember the world that we inhabit. Yeah, I get that that's important to you, but Jesus Christ, stop bashing me on the head with it. For you, AJ, who I'm guessing hasn't seen the movie.
No.
So, listen, it's, again, to quote JT here, he put it really well. It's kind of an atypical Americana horror story, much like Blue Velvet, you would consider a horror story.
Do you know when you said about the wider world, what have you, Blue Velvet came into my mind?
It's got that kind of vibe to it. It's closer to True Romance than it is to Blue Velvet, to the degree where it's even got the dung, 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 that xylophone that True Romance has at the beginning. Yeah, it got all that shit from this. Like, this movie seriously influenced True Romance, which is, for me, the far superior movie. But I don't know. I might be talking sacrilege. Burn the witch. Don't know. It's a story about he's a nobody. Michael Sheen plays Martin Sheen. Martin Sheen plays an absolute fucking nobody. He's a dustman, right? I'm not shitting on any dustman out there. I'm just saying the way that he's portrayed in this movie. He's a nobody, right? But he's got this James Dean good look, kind of rebel without a cause quality about him. And wouldn't you know it, he happens to woo his way into the heart of young Sissy Spacek, who, according to the movie, he's 25 and she's 15. Now, I appreciate this is set in 1973, but the movie for me, it's still wrong. The movie didn't really address the wrongness of their relationship at any point, and I found that to be a bit of a weird choice. The fact that the relationship was just there and it was unspoken of. It's like, well, you've mentioned their ages. I'd like that explored a bit more so we can get into the roots of how we are. You know, it questions a lot of us as audience, because one of the key things about the serial killer that Martin Sheen plays is that he is so inherently charming that you're kind of drawn towards him despite the atrocities that he commits. And what's sad is that the atrocities he commits, there's no real rhyme or reason or motivation behind them. He's just, you know, young kid, good-looking kid with a gun. And it's like, well, I got this girl. I like her. We're going to go on a run now. If you come after me, I'll shoot you. It's as simple as that.
Interesting.
They end up going on this long ass run, police chasing them, and things go right, things go wrong. But overhyped, man. Like, worth a watch just so you can see it as a piece of cinema history if you haven't seen it. But the fanfare that comes with Malik's greatest movie. Oh my God, this changed cinema. Oh my God, this is the best Martin Sheen performance ever. It's like, chill. It's fine. Like, it's literally that. It's fine. It's not wow. It's just fine. And if you love it, that's fine. You're better than me at that. Then you are winning at life, because I'm missing the point on this one, right?
Which happens sometimes.
It does. It does. I don't want anyone to get the impression that I'm shitting on them. The bottom line is, in this conversation where you like a movie more than I do, you win. I am the loser here. Like, I wish I would like the movie as much as everyone else does. I don't get it, though. And in number 8, I'm going very left field here. And I'm bringing Johnny Depp in again. And that's the last time I bring him in. Sleepy Hollow.
Okay.
Break it down. The Headless Horseman is legitimately a serial killer.
Yeah.
Legitimately. And that was kind of why I was like, well, yeah, he's not your traditional serial killer with a plan. But then some people are going to now bring in the argument of, oh, but in that film, he was being controlled by what's her face in the village. It's like, okay, then she's the serial killer. I don't mind who I put the pin of blame on. Someone's a serial killer here.
It's a film as opposed to a person. So by proxy, there is a serial killer in here. So.
Yeah. But this, do you know what, mate? I've really, really enjoyed this movie, mostly because I enjoyed the Disney film so fucking much when I was younger. But that cartoon was hardcore. Like, do you remember it? How creepy it was?
Yeah, it's creepy. It's been a while. I haven't seen it in a while.
Bro, even now when I watch it, I'm like, whoa.
Disney knew how to do that, though. And I dare I say, it built character. Like, we were exposed to some stuff. I'm a fossil. Shoot me. Like, you know,
burn the witch.
I'm not like promoting that everything that they done was right. Dumbo. Plus, Aristocats, was it? Yeah, like, you know, there's enough out there to say that Disney's got enough wrong. But there was that thing. we were just exposed to more that I just felt that, like, I don't want to say the kid gloves are on now, but it's like you were just kind of it kind of braces you for what can come next in life, you know. Whereas now it's just like, whoa, Disney doesn't do dark as much like now. Like, you know, you want to compare to
the young girl in Sleepy Hollow was Christina Ricci, wasn't it?
Yes.
She comes up again on my list. This is wonderful. What a weird little guilty by association we're having on this list this week.
6 degrees of separation with the Silver
6 degrees of separation. Literally that, mate. Yeah. So I've always been fascinated by this story. Always. This legend of this sleepy little village that's haunted by a headless horseman who, when, according to the Disney film, when Halloween comes, he comes and claims another victim with a clip and a clippity clap. So spooky. In this one, it's slightly different. In this one, he's controlled by someone in the village. But yeah, so good. brutal and bloody. Johnny Depp plays again an inspector, just like he did in from Hell. This time it's not Inspector Abeline, it's Inspector Ichabod Crane. So they've changed the role again slightly from the Disney, because in the Disney, Ichabod Crane was the school teacher who got bullied, right? In this one, the chief inspector who's sent, I get to say it again, by another late great. He's sent by a judge who was played in a cameo role by the late great Christopher Lee.
Who we can also tie into the fact that was the inspiration behind Bond.
Many, many great RIPs this week.
Yeah, indeed there are.
Man, we've lost some talent in the last few years. Fuck me. Ian Holm, Christopher Lee, and Alan Rickman. Jesus.
Life, my friend. Mother Nature. Father Time. Is that combination there?
Dig.
Yeah. Trust me, it's a lot to take in. And that was your...
That was my 8. So over to your 7.
Okay, over to me in at number 7. I tried to avoid the kind of horror genre this week, but obviously sometimes you just can't. And I toyed with. Are you doing horror franchises at all?
I don't think you'll consider what I've got a franchise. So go nuts.
You could do your child plays, your Halloweens, your Friday the 13th, and what have you. Then I toyed with this one, and I thought, kind of like the same way with like Sleepy Hollow, you can argue who was the serial killer. That's why I went with this one.
Yeah.
So, because this is something where it's slightly different now. Because yes, essentially, I mean, it's more in the other films, but I'm just kicking it off with Saw 1. It's yes, Jigsaw is the serial killer, but the actual killing itself
self-inflicted.
It's self-inflicted, or you onto another. So it's really an interesting concept behind a serial killer. Like he's essentially put you in a position where you have no choice but to, unless you can redeem and replenish yourself, essentially, learn a lesson while playing this awful game. But it was an interesting concept, and I thought, what, if I am going to play the horror game and go for a serial killer, this would be the one I'd go for.
Listen, it was the one I was probably toying with the most. I would like to see these Halloween remakes that they've done, though, because I've heard the Halloween that came out like 2 years ago or 3 years ago now in 2018 was supposed to be fucking good.
There's a new one coming out as well, isn't there?
Yeah, the follow-up, Halloween Kills, which is out this month, October, and then Halloween Ends, which is out next year. So apparently it looks like they've built it's kind of like a sequel trilogy, and it's meant to be really good. So I would like to check it out. Texas Chainsaw Massacre is another one which could have made this list.
Yes, I did toy with that, actually. That kind of came up, but it was like a passing thought, to be honest, because again, just didn't want to go down that route, Texas Chainsaw.
No, bro, I'm with you. But legitimately, you could have quite easily just equally made a list that was just that.
Just horror.
Easily, and they all would have been valid.
Yeah.
I would like to take this moment. I can't remember if I mentioned this a few weeks ago. I would like to take this moment to acknowledge how fucking underrated James Wan is as a director. The guy has done Saw, right? The guy has done Insidious. The guy's done The Conjuring. The guy has done Aquaman, DC's first billion-dollar movie. The guy did Fast and Furious 7 and had to deal with Paul Walker's death. And the guy's just recently done Malignant, which, while it hasn't been met with the biggest aplomb, I like what he did with it in there. Not scary, but interesting, and not something
I've done in a horror. On camera or on recording, but I do recall you bringing him up. I do recall you bringing him up recently, so no credit to you, sir.
For me, he's a director who I will now, much like Nolan and Scorsese, Bong Joon-ho, who did Parasite, of course, and Snowpiercer and Old Boy and all of those brilliant Korean movies. I will add James Wan to a list of directors where if they're making a film, I'd be like, okay, I'll see that.
Got my attention.
Yep.
Well,
if his name's on it,
the track record you listed, it's a fair assessment. It's a fair assessment.
I still maintain his ending for Fast 7 was a stroke of genius. Had people bellowing with tears in the cinema. About an actor who I wasn't even aware that I was that deeply connected to.
Yeah.
Nah, he did it. One's a talent, man. One's a mega talent. So yeah, that was your 7. Your 6?
Bear with me a second. I keep scrolling up. I don't know why I do scroll up when I do this. Right. So that was my 7. Probably a punt. It's here because we bring this film up quite a bit. I'm talking Anthony Hopkins, Jodie Foster, Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah, that's a punt all day long, my friend.
Bro, I get it. It's one of those things. I just felt like, it's such a top 3 film at all times. I'm like, just.
For good reason.
Bro, it's amazing. I just kind of thought let's toy with films that we haven't brought up so much.
Yeah, fair enough. My number 7 was the punt from earlier, Natural Born Killers. Oh, this film's so good. This film is so good. It's like Bonnie and Clyde on steroids. It's the reinvention of Badlands. This is the Americana that I'm more interested in. And Oliver Stone is so gritty in his delivery of this film and story.
It's funny you say Badlands, because I was going to say this and True Romance are 2 films that I've always kind of compared, likened in a way. So, yeah.
Badlands definitely influenced this. You know this was written by Tarantino, yeah?
Yes, I do indeed.
Written by Tarantino, directed by Oliver Stone. I maintain if this had been directed by Tarantino, the film would have been that much better. That aside, it's still a hell of a good film. But too visceral and violent for some people.
I mean, once they're in prison, it gets all kinds of crazy. But I don't. It's one of those things. You take it how you take it. As far as I'm concerned, when I watch, all right, there are certain films that have made me cringe, but I can normally pull away that I'm like, hey, blood and guts in a movie kind of thing. I've never really, it's not often that.
It's not so much the blood and guts. It's kind of like it's got that It's got that Tony Scott quality to it, where it feels gritty, it feels visceral. Because of the way it's shot, you kind of feel dirty watching it. And they sex her up in this, don't they? Juliette Lewis.
Yeah.
Are you flirting with me? Just from the get-go, and while he's there perving on her saying, can I have a key lime pie? It's so hypersexualized right from the off. So, yeah. I mean, they're just the worst people, aren't they? Rapists, murderers, robbers. But it's such a condemnation on media politics, isn't it? It's such a fucking... look, bring up the poster again. It's like the media made them superstars, and that poster is true. And we're guilty of that now. It's what happened with Trump. We paid far too much attention to him. It's like the problem we've got now in the UK with no petrol. People are like, this happened because of Brexit. It's like, yo, I hate Brexit. I'll be the first one to point the finger of blame at it. But this happened because a few media outlets reported that there was a shortage of petrol and people lost their fucking mind. It's toilet paper gate all over again.
Yeah. The media are they thrive on bad news. So if there is no bad news, let's create it. And it's one of those things. Had you not known there was no petrol, would you be rushing out to get petrol? You may be like, oh, it's out. It becomes that bit more manageable.
Yeah.
Not saying it wouldn't have happened, because yes, there are issues. Let's not be ignorant to it, but it's speeded up and it's become a lot worse due to the media. Fact.
It really has. And this movie is a byproduct of what happens when the mainstream media gets its claws into something, its flavor of the month, and sends it to the stratosphere.
Yeah.
There's a lot to be said for Natural Born Killers. There's a lot to be said, and the supporting cast is superb. Robert Downey Jr., Tom Sizemore, Chris Penn. It's Tom Sizemore. Tommy Lee Jones is in this. It's stacked top to bottom.
That's one thing, because I was really late to the party on that one, and just seeing it, it's like a who's who in that film. It's like, yeah. You've got a good cast.
Yeah, it's big, mate. So that was my 7. My 6, we might be saying punt here, but I'm putting it low for the reasons you just gave, because it's been brought up a lot by me. American Psycho.
It's do you know what? It's a small punt just because it hasn't actually been brought up that much by me. Okay. yeah, it's there. So that was your number 6.
That was
my
6. Over to your 5, mate.
And that was Punt. Right. This film had to be in there because it's just one of my favorites. And yeah, I wasn't going to make it number 1 because there are films naturally better than it. But Identity.
Yeah, you love this film, don't you?
I do indeed.
This is one of your babies.
Oh, it is. There are many films that can fall under the category of protection by me, and Identity is definitely one of them.
Crash as well. Don't talk bad about Crash in front of AJ. He'll kill you.
How dare you? When I heard what the world thought of that, I was heartbroken. Like, how dare you people? But no, Identity is one of
those argument I'll never get over. It's too obvious. Like, what?
Okay. Do you know what it is? It's what is it they say? Sometimes I think a few good men said it best. You can't handle the truth. You've directly got your own truth displayed in your face, and it's killing you. That's essentially what it comes down to me, as far as I'm concerned.
Legitimately,
you can't handle what's there. This is real, and you're like, no, but how dare you? What did you want from it? Superman to fly by at a certain point instead of the invisible. Yeah, stop it.
No. Leave the darkies alone and eat your milk. Exactly. drink your milk and eat your veg, rather.
Yeah, say your prayers and take your vitamins. Like, just behave. This is real life, people. But yeah, Identity is it's one of those things that you understand. It seems like 2 unrelated stories that have somehow been connected. You're hearing about a man who's in court and being assessed, while at the same time there are all these people arriving in a cabin who have many, many things in common. And while in this abandoned motel in the middle of the woods, people start dropping off. And I just found it such an amazing concept. As I said, it's connected. For those who've seen it, knows what I'm talking about. You'll understand that whores don't get a second chance. But for those who haven't seen it, I don't want to spoil it. I have brought it up a few times, and it's one of those that, as much as it could be brought up, it's one of my babies, as you said. So it's always going to be in a top 5 category where possible.
It's got a real Alfred Hitchcock vibe to it.
Yeah. It does indeed.
The motel helps. Hint, hint.
Yes, doesn't it just? But yeah, so that was my number 5.
Can't really argue with Identity. It's a cracking film, and again, stacked cast.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Speaking of stacked cast, I'm going to bring in my number 5. This is getting close to a modern masterpiece, this one, and it's kind of like one we're going to bring up later, but less gritty and more intelligent, with Jake Gyllenhaal, Mark Ruffalo, Robert Downey Jr., Zodiac.
That's a punt, my friend.
Okay. Over to you.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, so that was my number 5. We probably will punt on this, I'm guessing, because you just talked about a motel and Alfred Hitchcock. I'm bringing up Psycho.
Yeah, no, punt.
Okay.
punt.
Fair play. Right, so back over to you.
Right, my number 4. You just brought in Identity, right? Now, what's funny is that, let me get the actor's name up because I want to do him justice. He's one of these actors who, there we go. He's one of these actors who his name is never known, but when you see his face, you say, oh yeah, that dude, right? And I'm talking about Pruitt Taylor Vince, the guy who plays the killer in Identity, has a very, very small role in this film. But the star of this film are 2 ladies. It's based on a true story. I'm bringing in Charlize Theron in her Oscar-winning role, and Christina Ricci, who I didn't know was
really made the list. Yeah,
monster.
Big film.
Fuck! What a great film. You seen it?
Yes, I have. Sorry, you know what it is? I thought this is who we were talking about. Yeah. Pruitt Taylor. I had to actually just double. Yeah, it's you know when you're like, yeah. Even though I knew he was the killer, I'm like, I just need to make sure it's a recognizable face.
Do you know what threw me? It's a completely recognizable face. And, you know, PTV is how we're going to have to call him from now on, because none of us are going to remember Pruitt Taylor Vince. So let's just go PTV.
Yeah.
But yeah, what was interesting about this is that he actually, although he was only on camera for a very short time, he showed how much of a talent he is, because the boy's got some range, and you sort of show how visceral he is and nasty he is in Identity. And then, you know, she's trying to fucking, you're gonna beat me, aren't you? Yeah, you like it rough, don't you? You're gonna fit me. He's like, I don't like it rough. This is my first time doing this. And the way, anyway, I don't want to talk about that scene, even though it's brilliant. She's already in full killing mode there. And then you think, you know, atypical bald guy, mustache, looks like a sort of, you know, poster child for the KKK type person. And then you hear him speaking and say, oh no, he's a nice person, leave him alone.
Yeah. And can I also say, while we're on this, because you've mentioned this was your link as well with Christina Ricci coming back.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, what can I say? What was interesting is Christina Ricci really held her own with Charlize Theron in this. That's what surprised me. Like, I wasn't aware that Christina Ricci had this range in her.
It's something to do with the films that she's been cast in. And I don't want to knock it, but you can't help but say Christina Ricci and think Wednesday Addams. Casper and Wednesday. Like, that's who she was, you know? And possibly Mermaids. More for the share video than the actual film. But, like, that's all you ever picture her for. But she has done some stuff as an adult. Even it's a weird film, but let me double check, because I don't want to make an ass out of myself.
She's been. Do you know what's interesting is that you look at her IMDb and her filmography, and it's basically just she's an actress who's been making sort of 5.5, 6 out of 10 movies for the last 20 years.
Yeah,
the girl's still going strong.
Black Snake Moan with Samuel L. Jackson. Weird film. Yeah. I just wanted to
But then when she does TV, whenever she does TV, it's always like a 7+, 7, 8, 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with being a TV actress or actor. Actor. Gary Sinise found his home there.
Hey, so did
Kiefer.
Yeah. Mine was more of a shot than yours, but yeah, that's true. It's real. It's real. Some people, and it's not a bad thing, but you can actually just be a TV actor. You know, being in a serial TV show could just be made more for you than it is on a film scale. It's weird, but it's true.
It is true. But yeah, that almost sounds like we're dissing Christina. I just want to be very clear. I thought she held her own with Charlize Theron in this movie, but Charlize ultimately is the one you come and stay for. Like, what I also found out about Charlize Theron is that this is quite close to home. This for her.
Really?
Did you know that Charlie's mum actually killed her dad when he was beating her, and that's why they left South Africa? I was like, oh shit.
No, I did not.
Yeah. Killed him in self-defense, and then they fled. I was like, okay.
I was gonna bring something in, but I'm just gonna leave it because it just sounds a bit wrong. I was just trying to prove my point of superpower, but yeah. But no, that I did not know. I'd not heard that at all.
Nor did I. No, this movie really moved me. It made me go and research, and and it's a true story. Eileen Rorso, who actually, I mean, she is a bona fide psychopath. Forget sociopath. She's a psychopath. This woman. You listen, they're all over YouTube, and they've got tapes of her in her court case, and she's like, "I'll do it again. I don't care. Maybe I'll do."
There are some people like that, and it's chilling, isn't it? It's actually chilling because
something's not right upstairs.
Do you know what scares me about people like that? Is one that they're there, but they've been discovered, but it's those who haven't been discovered. You're like, it's like
Zodiac.
Yeah. That's the one. That is the one. It's just, it's chilling. Sorry, I've got the real shivers in my spine. Yeah.
There are times where it makes me reassured that we live in London because of the amount of CCTV that we have. But, you contrast where we live with somewhere like that, like Badlands, which I was talking about before. And it's just the open plains of South Dakota and this incredibly handsome, charming man who you wouldn't peg as a murderer. And next thing you know, is he stealing your Cadillac and locking you in a closet and killing everyone you know. It's like, whoa! America.
Bro, do you know what? We say this, but where do you have to be in an
We
hour?
don't have big open plains.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, where do you have to be in an hour?
What do you mean?
You have to do something in an hour's time because circumstances out here, you know?
Oh, well, yes.
Yeah, you know, I always say it. My parents forget to pay the congestion charge, and 2 days later, they have a £60 bill through the letterbox. However, there was a man who was able to kill 5 prostitutes in a row when no one was able to find him for a while. Like, sometimes the cameras are there, sometimes it's like, why are they there? Like, you know, come on.
Tupac got shot on the Vegas Strip.
Yeah.
Quote Chris Rock, how many witnesses do you need?
legitimately, you know, it's yeah. So, but I'm just saying, yes, you know, America, but yeah, UK, yeah, and I'm sure.
So glad we don't have guns. Just putting that out there. I'm so glad this country doesn't have a gun problem.
Preach.
Right.
Yeah. You haven't seen The Free Guy yet, have you?
Why do you put "the" on the front of everything? You always do this. It's just Free Guy.
Have you seen it yet? Forget what I put in front of it. Just ask the fucking question.
I love it when you do it though. The Black Panther.
I never said that.
Oh, it's on record saying it. That's bullshit. We've got you on tape saying that. Don't even go there with me, my friend.
Just answer the fucking question.
No, I haven't seen Free Guy.
Okay, right. There is a part there where there's a contrast between video game world and the real world. Because you like when I add the, so I'll put the real world as opposed to real world, right? And yeah, there is that part where I don't want to put a spoiler to it, but they do mention gun crime, but he kind of puts a giggle where you're like, yeah, you've acknowledged where you are.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. And it's got a good Canadian kid in Ryan Reynolds doing it. So I'm not surprised he's taking shots. The true north, strong and free. Oh, shit.
Right. So that was, where were we? That was your number 3.
That was my 4, sir. So
that was your number 4. Yeah, because I'm going first. So technically it's my number 3. So this is the other punt from earlier. This is a film that I haven't brought up so much and I keep forgetting it and I felt like I owed it its position. We're talking Mr. Bateman in American Psycho. This film is a film that I will always remember catching on a plane to Florida and thinking, what the actual hell? Like, my God. And the thing is, it's how it all starts off. You know, you just see this guy in business world, as it were, and, you know, the comparing of business cards and suits and outdoing each other. And you just don't expect what comes next. It's just this parade of, now you want to talk sociopath, here we go. Like, so again, psycho.
He's got everything: psycho, borderline personality disorder, narcissistic personality disorder. Pick it, he's got it.
Yeah. It's absolutely insane. And it's just it's the, yeah, as you said, because he's literally a cocktail of paths, as it were, as well as everything else. You don't even know where to start. But it's this self-gratification of the way he makes love to prostitutes and admires himself in the mirror while doing it, you know. And it's just like, what the hell? Followed by this murder where a woman is now running for her life because after making, well, no, not even making love, after the sex that he's just produced and probably making love to himself more than anything, by the way he was looking in the mirror, pulls out a fucking chainsaw.
After biting her calf, right?
Yeah.
He's taken a full-on man chunk out of her calf. Arr! Teeth and all.
It's how do you explain this guy?
Not to mention the axe in his apartment.
Yeah. Like, here we go. One man's house, axe and chainsaw. Do we need to continue? It's all kind of messed up, and it's one of those films that you have brought up, but I do keep forgetting it, and I'm like, yeah.
The one thing I think the movie did wrong, which the book made very clear. The movie, there was this insinuation at the end that maybe he didn't do it. But at that point, he'd become an unreliable narrator, so you didn't know what to believe anymore. And that's where it kind of blurred the lines. The book makes it very clear. It's like, no, he killed.
Fair play. I've not read it, but yeah, it's...
Book's even more graphic.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Yeah. So no, it's one of those films that I think it deserves a lot of respect. Yeah, it has been brought up, but sometimes I feel like American Psycho doesn't get brought up enough in other ventures.
Well, it's funny you say that, because when I put the fucking question out to Twitter, which you can get involved into if you're one of our viewers or listeners and you want to get involved with our weekly debates, every single weekend I will put a question out relating to what the following topic is. And when I put out the question on Twitter this weekend, what is the best serial killer movie? Not a single person said American Psycho.
Weird, isn't it? It's weird. It's weird.
Very weird. Very weird. Not a single person brought up American Psycho. Only 2 brought up Monster. Both women.
Interesting.
By the way, on that note, I do want to do a quick shout out because I did promise I would do this. So, again, having a wonderful interaction with one of the fans, I would like to shout out love and peace at Ilana's back. Ilana's back. Sorry. So E-L-E.
It's the way that you've Ilana's back. And then you're like,
no, because it's a Z. It's a Z instead of an S. It's not like apostrophe or anything. It's a fucking @ handle. I appreciate when I've just said that out loud and I've heard it in an existential out of body moment and heard myself externally being like, you fucking idiot. But you read it ELENAZ back.
Yeah, okay.
Ilana is back. So I'd like to shout out love and peace at Ilana's back. Who I was communicating with this last week, and she brought up. Sorry, I don't know if you use a pronoun she, so I'll say they. They brought up that Monster should be in the discussion, and I said, "Thank you. You're only the second person who's brought this up." To which they said, "How did it only get 2 mentions? Everything about the movie was brilliant, and when you find yourself actually rooting for the serial killer, which you do, well, that's a different level." To which I answered, shout out coming your way. So Ilana's back at love and peace. I'm a man of my word.
Indeed you are, sir. Indeed you are. So that was my number 3. Over to you.
So this is the one I punted on earlier. You said it was top 3 territory, and it is Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah.
It's one of the greatest films ever made. You can't argue it. You can't talk about serial killer movies and not have this in the discussion, to be honest.
You're right. You're right. I'm actually, do you know what? I feel like,
and to be honest, my top 3, I don't know how you can talk about serial killer movies and not have them in the discussion.
Fair play. I mean, it's one of the, listen, it's in there. I just feel like such a hypocrite because I've realized what my number 2 is.
Do we bring it up a lot, do we?
Yeah, probably more than Silence of the Lambs, so I don't know why, but yes.
Maybe it's worthy of being in the discussion, AJ. Who knows? We cannot help these things, you know?
You can't. I think it's because it nearly made my number 1 till number 1 kicked in. But yes, no, Silence of the Lambs is, yeah, you can't not talk about it. I think even though we've spoken about it a lot, if you are going to talk serial killers, it's in the discussion. I think it's the best.
And what's interesting is that whenever you talk serial killer in Silence of the Lambs, people, well, not all people, a lot of people think you're referencing Hannibal the Cannibal. No, he's not the serial killer in it. Buffalo Bill is James Gunn.
That's the one. Yeah,
Hannibal Lecter's
family and
Robin. He's like the sidekick to Batman, basically.
Exactly. Yeah, the advisor, as I was going to say, the special counsel.
Fucking Hopkins is so good, isn't he? It's just, it's such a performance.
Because and let's be honest, because whoever talks about Robin in a normal film, like the sidekick does.
Batman Forever. Ha!
Because Chris O'Donnell was the shit, but we won't get into
there. You go.
But let's be real, I also do acknowledge Val Kilmer as the one true Batman. So I
can't agree with that, but I know that at Rise Guide will agree with you on that.
Yeah, but I'm just highlighting the fact that when it comes to the perfect, but anyway, we'll stop there because I don't want to make an ass out of myself.
Speaking of Val, you did you track down the documentary I told you about?
I haven't. I will
add it to your list.
But was it not coming? Was it not coming as opposed to?
Yeah. But I haven't been keeping tabs of it. I thought you might have been keeping closer tabs than me. Maybe it had come and gone or something.
No, not to my knowledge.
For instance, The Loneliest Whale. That's now available to watch online.
Yes, so I heard. Do you know what?
Never even got a cinema release here. Disgraceful.
Sad, because that really touched me when I heard about it. Not seen it as yet, but I was really touched by that story.
Yeah.
That is a touching. So even now, just heart sank a bit just thinking about it.
It's horrible, isn't it? The idea that a mammal's so big that it spends its life in solitary. Oh, poor whale.
Yeah, that is sad.
But yeah, Silence of the Lambs, story of Agent Clarice Sterling, who's hunting down serial killer Buffalo Bill James Gum with the help of Hannibal the Cannibal Lecter, played by Oscar winner Anthony Hopkins. Yeah. What can be said about this movie that hasn't been said by us or anyone for that matter?
It's been done. I don't even
it really has.
I don't even want to be that guy. It's been done. Like, I don't want to dismiss it, but if you haven't seen it, see it. Edutainment point there for you. Yeah. That's the one. And in at number 2 for me is another film that I just feel like it's been done ad nauseum, and I just feel like a dick because I'm like, Silence of the Lambs, we've done too much. But this film nearly did become number 1 for me, and I'm like, guys, you can't do it. I'm talking Brad Pitt, Morgan Freeman, 7.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because that's my number 2.
Hey, same poster. It's the way it's all put together, and it just,
dude, it's one of the quintessential serial killer movies. It's the framework for a serial killer movie. Literally, it's so well paced. It is so well developed. It's gripping. It's terrifying. You can put it all together if you're paying close enough attention. It's the power of the not seen, isn't it? It's like the what's in the box thing. You know what it is. It's what you don't see that troubles you that much more. The plan unfolding, your wrath. Sorry. It's like, wah, got him.
Yeah.
It's brilliantly clever. I do maintain, I think Zodiac. So this is the movie I was likening Zodiac to.
Okay.
I always get a kind of 7 vibe off Zodiac, but minus the gore with more intelligence. I kind of got that vibe off it.
Fair play. But yes, no, we've done 7 ad nauseam. Yeah, 7 again. If you haven't seen, check it out. There's not much more I can say.
Viewer discretion is advised.
Indeed. And it's one of those things that always kill me when you was like, you can't get the breakdown of what it was. I always remember that discussion we had when we first brought up 7. It was quite interesting. So there's a lot to be discussed about with 7 as well. I'm more than happy to discuss it with you in podcast format. Right, worst. We are going to be split because this film I know you enjoyed. I did enjoy the first half, and then it wound me the fuck up by the end.
Okay.
Vinnie Jones, Bradley Cooper, Midnight Meat Train.
Vinny movie, really like it.
Yeah, Hostel nearly took the category as well because that was another film that has wound me up to hell. But I just thought of this one because it started off as such a film that had me gripped. Yeah, I was so gripped by what was going on. And then it just started to get into the very B movie and supernatural and out there. And I was so disappointed.
Why not? Why not?
No, it had such a story, man. Yeah, but in the same breath, why?
Why not?
Like, we can ask this question. It'll be a bit like, dude, where's my car in this question? Because you'll be like, why not? And I'll be like, why? Oh man, bro. It had.
Where would you have wanted to see it go? He catches him and then saves the day, and story done.
I don't know, but I just feel like I don't want to spoil it for anyone. Like, you think it's fun, so others may find it fun. It's not for me to spoil, but
you have to accept it for what it is. It's a pure, unadulterated, gritty B movie.
Yeah. No, it wasn't for me. The letdown is one that I just haven't been able to forgive, honestly, and that's where it's at. Honestly, people, it's the kind of dusk till dawn kind of flip the coin and you're in a completely different world kind of thing.
Exactly, but that worked for you. Why didn't this?
No.
You've literally proven my point here. It is exactly like From Dusk Till Dawn. It just takes this mad flip.
Yeah, but do you know what it is? Dusk Till Dawn had this open and then carried up. Like when it flipped, dare I say, it was about halfway, if not earlier than halfway. So I've had to kind of forget that part and you embrace what this film is about. Whereas this film had me at, oh, where's this going? Where's this going? And then near the end, it's like, okay, here's the coin flip. And I'm like, fuck you. That's the difference. It's when the coin flips, man. Like, nah.
He didn't like the fact that the coin landed and gave him tails.
Coincidentally today, fun story, because I wasn't actually thinking of flip the coin. Got on a bus today, and dare I say, my Oyster card is nearing its end. Got on a bus today, sat down, right next to me, Oyster card. And I'm like, do I keep it? This may be able to top me over into my next set of travel for the next few days, because there's this gap between payday and
you found an Oyster card.
Yeah. And
was it one of the ones which had a name on it or not? No,
it was just there, just an Oyster card. It should have been open game, and I actually played the open game. I went onto Google. I went onto Google and I flipped the coin, and I actually done it 3 times. I was like, if it lands on head, it's mine. If it lands on tails, it gets handed into the driver. And coincidentally, it landed on tails twice. So I handed in the Oyster card.
They've just pocketed that.
He probably has. I mean, the thing is, bus drivers have the purple Oyster card. Have you ever seen the purple Oyster card?
No.
It's golden. Honestly, it should be a golden Oyster card. Basically, I think they get it for themselves and possibly 1 or 2 members of their family.
Free travel?
Free travel, all zones.
Oh.
Bro, I had a friend who had one. He's like, oh, my friend works for London Transport, but he doesn't use it, so he gave it to me. I was like, like, it's something to drool about. The purple Oyster card. It's a bit like a black Nando's card, people.
What is the black Nando's card?
Free food.
Forever.
Ed Sheeran has one. They've stopped it now. And apparently the last person who got one, before it was like, if you were a regular, they could authorize you a black Nando's card. Ed Sheeran has one. I think Example may have one as well. The last person who
just because they eat Nando's so much.
Yeah. It was just like a loyalty thing. And the last guy who did get a black Nando's card had to prove his loyalty to Nando's by going to every single Nando's, I think, in the world. And that's when they granted it to him. And they were like, yeah, we're not going to do it again after that.
I mean, I do like Nando's.
Yeah. But what do you think? Let's be honest. I mean, you may get tired of the taste, but essentially, man.
Chicken and veg.
But bro, here we go. But let's break it down. A black card entitles you to never have to buy food shopping again. Even if you're going to get tired of the taste, it's free food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should donate some of those cards to homeless people, maybe.
There you go.
Opening up a social dilemma here, aren't we?
There we go. There we go.
Ed Sheeran can pay for his. He's got money.
Ed Sheeran has a village for a house.
Yep.
Ed Sheeran keeps buying out his neighbors, like, just while we're on the subject. I don't know if you know about this. It's like called Sheeran.
I don't, but I'm not surprised.
Yeah. He keeps buying out his neighbors, and gradually more and more it's just become this Ed Sheeran town. It's weird. Like, look it up.
I guess he's like Brock Lesnar. He doesn't like people.
Yeah, pretty much. And it's weird because I actually met a few people who have worked with Ed when he was on the come up, and they were always like, he was a kind of to himself guy. No shit. He's now proven that a lot. But yeah, that's where we're at. Anyway, that's a weird turn from Midnight Meat Train to Ed Sheeran. Only on the Movie Mount Rushmore, people.
Right. My worst easy choice, mate. It falls into the that kind of horror franchise which we were talking about earlier. I have no time for this film. Scream.
I purposely left Scream off. I mean, as much as I said I wanted to leave these alone, the hatred you have for this film, I kind of.
It's fucking terrible. It is terrible.
I had fun with Scream, man.
Bro, when was the last time you watched it?
Forever and a day.
We're going through a Civil War moment here. I promise you, when we all get over the wanky of how good that opening 15 minutes is. And let's be under no fucking illusion, it is fantastic, that opening 15 minutes when she's alone in the house. Hey, do you like scary movies? It's terrifying. It's horrible, the idea that someone's watching you in the privacy of your own home and then they're inside with you. Horrible. Every person, especially every woman, but it doesn't really matter what your gender is, but still, especially a woman, every person ever has had that fear. Every person has been there. That's why that opening 15 is so poignant. But do you know what I did for shits and giggles for this list? Mixed Memorabilia is going to be so fucking angry with me because did you know that, quick tangent here, Bong Joon-ho of Parasite fame, one of his early films is called Memories of Murder, and it fits this list perfectly, apparently. Fucking nightmare to find, and it's all you can get it on Amazon, but it's one of those additional payment things which I don't play with.
It's so wrong, Amazon, I can't lie.
Innit? It really is. And there was this other Indian film called Raman Raghav 2.0, which apparently it's like a Scorsese film, apparently. Supposed to be superb. And it's on Netflix. I didn't get around to watching it because I thought I would treat myself because I apparently hate myself instead of liking good movies. I said, no, I'm going to go and rewatch Scream. I always give this movie shit. Let's see if it really is that bad. Not only did I rewatch it, not only is it so bad and it gets worse every time. Here's the part that's funny. I then want to watch Scary Movie just for a bit of light.
Don't go there. Don't.
I'm going to say Scream is worse. That wasn't what I was getting at, in case you're worried. It's as bad. There are legitimately, listen, before you leave, listen. There are legitimately scenes. And I'm not talking about the stupidness of when that dickhead in Scary Movie is climbing up and trying to woo her and they do the jokes with the chainsaw and the pubic hair. And fuck all that shit. Not funny. The actual murder scenes are kind of like for like. Like the notable one is when, you know, that scene in Scary Movie where she tries to crawl through the garage door to get out and the killer's just like pushes a button and the garage door lifts. That happens in Scream. It's the same thing. And there's some things in Scream that are actually worse. Like when she's in the news van, Courtney Cox's news van, Nev Campbell's in Courtney Cox's news van, slides the door open. She tries crawling out the back and she has to like squeeze through this little confined hole. The killer sees her. Instead of just being like, okay, I'm going to close this door. I'm going to go around the back. And I'm going to stab you in the head. They go full Scooby-Doo and he tries squeezing in behind her. And it's like, but what? Why didn't you just... No, you stupid. You really stupid. Like, I like the twist in it. It's kind of a double twist, actually. Do you know what? This movie would make a top 10 if we were ever doing a top 10 about double twists in movies, because it's got a really good double twist. The fact that it's the boyfriend, then spoilers, it's the boyfriend, and then, oh, there's two of them. It's like, oh, shit, right? Okay, fair play. That was good. So, like, it sticks the ending, but I mean, end. I'm talking last 5-6 minutes. And the opening is some of the best ever. But God fucking mighty, the movie sucks. It's so bad, AJ. You need to rewatch this the way you rewatched Civil War and finally started to see what I was saying.
The difference I had with Civil War and Scream is that I'd seen Civil War the once and I kind of left it. Whereas
how many times have you seen Scream?
It's been a lifetime, but I watched it a few times. But then it was a different time. I was a different age. Huh?
Well, yeah. Bro, it's a teen horror. Of course, when you're a teenager, it's like, bro, I imagine now that I've got a daughter on the way, if I go back and watch American Pie, I'm not going to be laughing at Stifler so much. I hate the fact that I'm saying that, by the way. But I might not be laughing so much. I might be like, I might show this to my daughter as an educational piece on teenage men and be like, you see this? The funny fuckers? Stay away from them. Because this is what they get freaky with. Pee-peed on. Don't be that girl. You know?
Message for you, Nico.
What we got? Hey, Mixed Memorabilia is here. Like how you mentioned how you knew who the SK was. They're in Memories of Murder. Yeah. There you go. Supporting what I said. Yep. I hate myself, apparently. Instead of watching good movies that are being recommended to me by a really, really lovely Twitter community, can do what can only be described as sadomasochism. Because I must hate myself for rewatching Scream. I really must. Because the movie is a tremendous piece of shit.
I don't know. I
rewatch it and just get on board with me, please. You'll see what I'm talking about.
I had fun with Scream, and it's one of those that you might be like, I think time and age might really hinder this film because but it was like the gateway to teen horrors. Like it really was.
No, it wasn't. It absolutely was not.
Of its era.
Of the 90s, maybe.
Obviously, we had stuff like bloody Nightmare on Elm Street prior. Like, yeah, of course, yeah. But like for its era and bringing it back,
Chainsaw Massacre was in the 60s for fuck's sake.
That's what I'm saying. But of its era, it because we had that wave that came after of teen horror movies, and I don't know. But again, you're talking to a man who doesn't give two craps about horror.
I'm not surprised when you like shit like this. Like if this is your benchmark for horror, I'm not surprised you don't like horror.
Fair play. Okay, well, Scream takes its place where it's taking its place. I didn't put it on the list to defend it, but yeah, it's one of those things that sometimes I don't have the debate.
Why did it not make your list? Because it ain't very good.
Sometimes I also don't have the debate in me to try and prove it, and then it means having to go back on films. And I try to open the horizons, expand the horizons, see different stuff.
You're a better person than I am, because I should have listened to Mixed Memorabilia and watched fucking Memories of Murder and Raman Ragav, and I hate myself for not doing that. At Mixed Memorabilia, watch this space, because I have a feeling there's going to be another top 10 serial killer movies next season.
There you are. Something to look forward to. Right, in at number one for me is the film that you mentioned and compared to Seven, but it's kind of on the biopic. Well, it is in the biopic scale.
It is.
Real life as opposed to biopic, because we still don't know. Well, I suppose the reporters are. I'm talking Zodiac.
Nice poster.
Yeah, bro. Even I was shocked when I found out. I was like, ooh, I'm taking that one. That was nice, wasn't it? Yeah. So
great.
Really great, and it's the cat and mouse. It's the attempt to find, and you don't want to leave it as a spoiler, but it's true life. It's a bit like Jack the Ripper, not found. Like to this day, it's kind of chilling. It's like, okay, it's stopped, but the person is was out there, never caught, and it's scary to think of. Because there were many murders along the way, and it's just this press team. Again, this is one where we will talk about how the press. We talked about the negativity behind it, but this is where they're actually trying to do good.
Well, remember, it's not just the press. I believe Mark Ruffalo is a police officer in this. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure Jake Gyllenhaal isn't even a.
He's an artist. He's
a cartoonist, isn't he?
Yeah, it's true. But
it's fucking fascinating the way that this story breaks people so much the way it did. The way that it basically drove Robert Downey Jr.'s character to drink and to lose his own life. It drove Mark Ruffalo away, or the character Ruffalo played, away from the case entirely. They were like, can't do it. We literally can't catch this guy. And Jake Gyllenhaal, like this annoying little rat, just kept on going and going and going. Still didn't get lucky. Like, we still don't know who the fucker is. If you're watching now and you're alive, I'm sorry I called you a fucker.
Yeah. But joking aside, it's one of those things that it's just, how do you, as you said, if you're still alive, like it just stopped. Why? How? What's the purpose? Who? What? This unanswered taboo, what the world had to go through, what people went through in order to find it. Them, should I say? It's surreal. It's surreal, and that's the thing. Sometimes you get lost in a movie, and then sometimes you have to remind yourself that this is reality. And it's like, damn. It's when you get these reminders, it puts that chill it puts that chill. And it's one of those things, and I'm not out to freak anyone. You could legitimately be on the bus with that person, on a tube with that person, on a plane ride with that person, anything. Just you don't know. You don't know. I mean, probably there is someone out there who knew something. It's just one of those things. But there's another side. Maybe they didn't. Like, no, it could have been anybody. It's freaky. It's scary, and that's why I just took my number one. Because if we're going to talk serial killers, let's bring it to. Well, I don't want to say bring it home, but like reality, deeply ingrained in reality, and fantastic performances from everyone as well. It's just all round great film.
So chilling though, just so chilling to know that this shit was happening in San Francisco and that no one ever got caught. And the movie's clever, isn't it? It kind of toys with you at the end, going, "Oh, this could be the guy. The things are there. The watch is there. The signs are there. We don't have enough to arrest this person." It's like, oh my god, it's so him.
But is it?
But is it, right?
Yeah, exactly. But is it? It's just
right place, right time, right build, right fucking watch model. Still not enough. God damn it.
It's nuts. But it's life. Yeah. Okay.
Speaking of life, can't really talk about a fucking life serial killer movie without talking about this guy, Hitchcock, Psycho.
Of course, I mean, Hitchcock is just it's one of those things that you just can't ignore. He's one of those names that when you enter certain realms, certain things are linked to it. And Hitchcock in the thriller category, in a field like this, Psycho has to be one of those films that you are going to bring up.
It just does. Whereby the killer is not so obviously a serial killer in this one, because yes, the Psycho does murder Marion Crane. He does murder the police officer who comes to the house, and he attempts to murder again at the end and gets stopped. So 2 out of 3 is not bad. Not serial the way someone like Eileen Rorso is, or not serial the way someone like Mickey and Mallory Knox are, or not serial the way someone like Kit is from Badlands, but still fits the description. This movie's so fucking good, and it's so fucking ballsy what they did. You take one of the biggest stars in the world, in Janet Leigh, and you kill her off halfway through, and it's like, well, no one saw that coming. You just got Deep Blue Seed.
Yeah.
If you know, you know.
Yeah, it's true.
And if you don't, go and watch Deep Blue Sea and get ready for the surprise of your life.
You killed who? Yeah.
Motherfucker, what? That's a bad motherfucker.
Legit.
Shark be like, no, me. Oh man, it's such a ballsy move. I love the way it's shot. I love the fucking choice to do this in black and white and to give it that kind of old school grainy feel. And it to this day, we're gonna say the obvious, but can you look at a shower curtain the same?
And it's one of the most replicated scenes ever. Like, people don't even know they're doing Psycho when they're doing Psycho sometimes. Like murder, the actual murder sign is,
horrible.
Chocolate sauce, because that's what made it look the right way.
Joys of black and white.
Exactly that. But yeah, no, great choice. Like one can't argue with Hitchcock. It's like,
I'm happy with my list, but bittersweet. As I said, there's definitely other movies I would have liked to have seen on here.
This is edutainment. We got a 2 for 1. We got a 2 for 1 in terms of edutainment there, just like that. There were more films I wanted to see as well. Don't get me wrong.
So, do you want to maybe, if you've got honorables on your list, do you want to maybe keep them in your note and just write at the top of the title, add the little word "another," so we have it for next year, and that way you've still got your list and all your memorables, honorables there too, so we know where to go.
That's cool by me.
Cool. So we'll maybe aim to do that for season 5. Can't believe we're going into season 5. Holy shit!
Sounds insane, huh?
It's fucking mad, bro. I still remember movies iconic to 90s kids at Dewsbury Road.
But that's the thing. And, when you break it down that we say season 5, that's in a podcast format. So Silver Screen Dudes itself has been around for a minute.
It's coming in there. It's been around a while.
Yeah. So we're here and we are grateful for you all. But
Yes.
before we show our eternal appreciation, it's Rushmore time.
I thought I was going to get, are you ready?
Yeah, I could bring that back. But I thought you might have some comments. Or are we doing?
No. We don't do that anymore. I told you, because the comments just, they blow up. Yeah, we've got like over 200 comments on that question. I do not have time to be reading 200 comments.
So then, without further ado.
But we will continue to read out all comments that are done on the actual polls, of course.
That's fine. So then we'll bring it back. Are you ready?
Are you?
I said, are you ready? It doesn't have the same vibe because Triple H had like thousands of people doing it. So,
you
ready? Then, for the 2 people on StreamYard, the 1 viewer, and the thousands who will be tuning in on their many podcast platforms, let's get ready to Rushmore. Okay, that was previously cancelled because this wasn't a fan, but I'm glad to bring it back.
It just doesn't have the right effect unless you have a live audience.
It doesn't, but hey.
One day. One day. I've been speaking with Amazon about maybe doing a live show.
Sounds good.
Mr. President.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Right. So I suppose Psycho is essentially there.
Listen, as I said, I don't really know how you can leave off my top 3 in this conversation. And what I think is really interesting as far as a poll is concerned is that they could literally go very, 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 very many ways here. So the point, unless you disagree, I think the kind of impetus here is what's number 4?
So here's a question.
If you don't disagree, that is.
Here's a question. Is 7 not in the category of films that always crush?
Oh, that is a very good question. So here's the thing. The honest answer to that is I'm not sure. I have something tells me yes, but I also know that Hitchcock is wholly on Twitter. Because you remember until recently with Rocky and Henry Hill, it was a Hitchcock movie that held our highest ever polls division. It was Rear Window with 54. Then Rocky came with 56. Then Henry Hill came with 61. So putting fucking Psycho up against Numero 7 is interesting.
Do you know something that really does intrigue me? I mean, essentially, I don't want to put the same director in twice. So if 7's in, I will have to forfeit Zodiac.
Because it's Fincher, right?
Yeah, I might be inclined to make it a sacrificial lamb. But I'm intrigued to see if we jerk any memories by putting American Psycho in.
Yeah, so am I. Because I'm quite disgusted that movie didn't get brought up more. Well, get brought up more. It didn't get brought up. No one pulled American Psycho. No one. Not Andy, not Chris, not Mixed Memorabilia, not Mo. No one. It was a swing and a miss as far as American Psycho is concerned. I think it's got a place there. Monster, I'd love to see on there, but only 2 people pulled for it, and I think it would get trampled against the other 3. Something tells me American Psycho wouldn't necessarily. I think it was just one of those, oh, fuck, I forgot it type moments.
That's what I'm intrigued to see.
So am I.
But then
What are you thinking?
I'm just looking at what we would put else then.
What if it wasn't American Psycho?
But no, it's American Psycho. But then we're talking about monster. We're talking about monster. Would it?
My top 3.
I mean,
as I said, unless you have an argument for any of my top three, I just don't know how we can have a poll without them.
I can work with that.
No, tell me, like, if there's a problem.
I'm looking at it and I'm thinking of genuine classics as opposed to just like putting out this weird random thought of let's see how this film does. That would be my category. Like, I don't. Yeah, no. I think they fall in that. Yeah,
I don't mind putting. I also, just as a side note, do not mind putting two Finchers in there. If you did want to bat for Zodiac, I don't have much of a fight on you.
I really because American Psycho wasn't in there. I'm very adamant to see that more than Zodiac.
Okay, but Zodiac did get brought up quite a bit, by the way, just so you know.
But yeah, it's just one of those things, and it's like there's a part of me that wants to tackle Psycho, but then I think that's the ultimate challenge to Seven. If Seven is in that category,
100%,
and that's where I'm there. And then seven is seven. Yeah. Cool.
I'll leave it to you what you want to make your last entry. The floor is yours.
Yeah, no worries.
You don't even have to reveal it to me now. You can reveal it as we're counting down if you want to make it really suspenseful.
Yeah, that's it. That's cool.
We good to go?
Here we are.
And I can bang this week.
Go.
Ladies and gentlemen, the official Movie Mount Rushmore of movies about serial killers in no particular order is
Silence of the Lambs. I was thinking Jim Carrey more than the actual film. I don't know why. Yeah.
Our second entry is
American Psycho.
Our third entry is
Psycho.
Our final entry into the Movie Mount Rushmore of serial killer movies is
7. All right. Interesting topic there, which had us
very
slightly torn. If you think it's difficult for us, guys, it gets worse for you, because why did we have these debates about Twitter and what do people think and what was brought up? Because we, the Silver Screen Dudes, have the unfortunate challenge of picking the 4 must-see movies out of our potential 20 films, and we came up with them: 7, American Psycho, and Silence of the Lambs. That is the Rushmore of must-see films. However, the challenge now comes down to you, the screeners. You have to head on over to Twitter, and you have to vote for the best of the best of the best. El Capitan, El Numero Uno. And to quote Highlander, in the end, there can be only one. So, those films will be listed by JT of We Love Movies. Thank you very much. Movie polls for you. And we, the Silver Screen Dudes, aka at Movie MT Rushmore, will be retweeting that. So no, you can't vote twice if you're torn. You only get the one vote. And in a couple of days, we'll be announcing the winner. Well, the winner will be revealed, but we then play a small game where I will come here and try to guess our winning film. Last week, our topic was Best Movie Fantasy Location. And our contenders were?
Our contenders were Pandora from Avatar, Middle-earth from Lord of the Rings, Hogwarts from Harry Potter, and The Bathhouse from Spirited Away. We had 309 people vote on this poll. A few comments, which I'll read out as always. Andy Hart at Fandango Groover said, it has to be Middle-earth. Pandora was a really good location in a very average movie.
Thank you.
Sixth Book 1 put Pandora is way too dangerous. If you're a muggle with no magical ability, you'll miss out on a lot of what the wizarding world has to offer. Middle-earth would be one, but also presents its own perils. Food in Spirited Away looks delicious as fuck. I'm assuming the answer this person gave was then Spirited Away.
Kind of leaning that way, yeah.
Will at 1199 Wolf said it would have to be Middle Earth. The variety of areas alone are worth the vote. Chris Trengrove, your guy, said, I'll have you know that I think Middle Earth is the correct answer. However, I voted for the Spirited Away bathhouse because I knew it would fare poorly in this group, and it deserves serious love. Now, he said that within an hour of the poll being up, so don't let that necessarily influence. Yeah. That's it. I'm afraid. No more comments this week. Apparently, Fantasy Locations wasn't as well received as real portrayals of gangsters. That's fine.
That's fine, but the votes were quite heavy, so
votes are good. I'm happy with 300 people voting for us.
There we go.
What we got?
Hogwarts at number 4.
Nope.
Interesting. The bathhouse from Spirited Away.
Yeah, got absolutely decimated, which it didn't deserve. 6%.
Now I can't remember what I was thinking as an alternative, but damn, that's oof.
That's Coach Carter.
Coach Carter. But there we go.
It's Coach Carter levels are bad, mate.
Right.
I hate the fact that that's a sentence now at the movie Mount Rushmore.
It was the originals when it comes down to like greatest action hero. You're Keanu. Like it's the people have spoken.
Yeah, but I get it.
I get it too.
I get it.
In at number 3 is Hogwarts.
Nope.
Fuck, Pandora.
Yeah. 21%.
Okay. I clearly know Middle Earth is 1, so I'm sorry, Harry. I'm just going to go with like Hogwarts in at number 2.
29% for Hogwarts at number 2. Middle Earth, 44%. The Rings wins again.
It is what it is. I mean, but it's one of those things that, like, when you look at everyone else, like Middle Earth has so much range to it that it could have been the Shire, it could have been here, it could have been there. It's got enough to delve.
So here's the funny thing. On the Twitter world, what you're saying is correct. People who I physically meet in real life, or did before the Global Bastard and when we could still meet people, I've met a lot more Harry Potter heads in my life than I have Rings fans.
But again, do you know what I'm saying is like when you break it down to Hogwarts, I mean, Hogwarts is so powerful anyway. Like, I'm not saying Diagon Alley would have made it number 1. That's like bullshit on my.
No, God no.
No. But do you get what I'm trying to say? I'm just like that we're talking about a specific location in any of these. Okay, surrounding grounds to Hogwarts, but Middle-earth has got the fire, it's got the orcs, it's got the elves, it's got everything. And this is from a guy who
Isengard, Minas Tirith, Minas Morgul, Kirithungol, Rohan, Helm's Deep, the Bridge of Khazad-dûm, the Mines of Moria, the Village of Bree. I can keep going. I love this fucking franchise.
But this is what I'm saying, as opposed to, without seeing it, I'm not dismissing it like, But saying that Pandora is a place of its own, but it was just like a small jungle. So yeah, it wins. Congratulations. I'm just trying to weigh stuff out. But cool. That's
this week.
Yeah, that's this week, guys. So thank you very much. Once again, just please tell a friend to tell a friend. In fact, tell 5 friends to tell 5 friends. That's even more important to us because it's all about interaction, guys. We're live now. You have a chance to interact with us. That's what's there. Like Mixed Memorabilia is here, and we thank you. Then the tech has said he will join later on. He has to catch a replay. We appreciate we're not consistent. There's no fixed days, but guys, it's hard. It's hard. We're just fitting in schedules and doing what we can. But we do thank you at all times.
We're doing this for fun. At the end of the day, we're not looking to become the next Screen Junkies. It's literally, I keep on saying this all the time. If we have one person watching us live, which seems to be what we have on this day, we were luckier last week. I'm blessed that one person is willing to give us their time and listen to 2 friends from school talk about something that they love and sharing what we hope is some sort of, therapeutic joy that we can give. Or at least if it's not that, you can disagree with us and say we're idiots because we don't know our films are. We're fine with that too. We don't agree.
Trust me, I accept it at many points. I'm aware, but for me more than you when I say that. But yeah, I get it. So guys, once again, are we going to take it in turns again, bro?
Sure.
So you can, as well as on Facebook and Instagram, you could catch the podcast on Spotify,
iTunes,
Apple Podcasts,
Castbox,
Deezer,
Spreaker,
iHeartRadio,
Podchaser,
TuneIn,
Stitcher,
Geo7, the Croydon Killer. So, guys, once again, like we appreciate each and every one of you. Do check us out on all platforms. 2022, guys, you're going to see a major rebranding, but for now, we're just keeping it ticking over at the moment. So, if you know when to catch us there, and we appreciate you all. So, until the next time, I am the one AJ Anthony Jordan.
And just before we leave, I'd like to shout out a few new countries who have joined us: Sudan, Belarus, Chile, Haiti, Cambodia, Papua New Guinea, Puerto Rico, Kenya. And yeah, thank you. If you are the people who have tuned in from those countries, please do message us on Twitter at MovieMTRushmore, or join us for one of our next live shows and comment away and let us know what your top 10 of the relevant topic that we're doing. Or just literally don't even do any of that. Just come and give the video a like, or come and say, hi, I'm that person from that country who you shouted out on the last episode. The fact that we've got people in Haiti listening to us is fucking mind-blowing to me. Like, I can't get my head around that. But
I love it.
Wicked, love to Haiti, love to Kenya, love to fucking Papua New Guinea. I've been to Papua New Guinea. Do you know how wild Papua New Guinea is? Like, I went to a cannibal village in Papua New Guinea, and not a tourist one, like a real one. Like, we got people there listening to us. I'm proud of that.
That's
even if it's one person. I don't know what the exact number is. I've got a percentage, but that's amazing.
Love it, guys. No, so thank you.
So from there's some verisimilitude for you. So from Double V right here, the Viceroy of verisimilitude, Nico Lurot, it's see ya until next week. Well, we'll be talking about ding 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 ding.
That's the one, guys, and enjoy it. Yeah, do you know what? Send some feedback, because you will have time to watch it by the time we have back.
Oh, I'm seeing it Thursday. I'm there. I've already got my ticket. 4 p.m.
Good for you, but I just want to hear some people's feedback while we're there. Like, it's interaction. So, guys, just that's what you thought of the film. Okay, guys, we're at. See ya.
See ya.